Mm, Okay. Court calls the case of the state of Texas versus Emmanuel Contreras, 2023-0C04034. We're here for a pretrial. What says the state
Adam Chevrier for the state, ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Robert Nicholas Ballesteros on behalf of Mr. Contreras, Your Honor, also ready.
You are Emmanuel Contreras.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand, sir. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I know Mr. Contreras has some felonies in the 120th that are set for trial here soon. What'll happen to this case, Mr. Chevrier?
Judge, I'm assuming there'd be some sort of wrap up. I don't know if Mr. Ballesteros is intending to take it to trial. Trying to see if there, oh, go ahead.
I can explain real quick, Judge. So he has a number of felonies, excuse me, and he is represented by Mr. Mark Rosales' office on those felonies. However, this current charge, this case here, Your Honor, in your court, it's the only thing actively holding him in custody. He was given a release order for those felony cases, which is why I believe we're also set for a bond hearing today.
Correct.
I'll admit I'm not the one who asked for the bond hearing, but I'm glad it is set because this is the only thing holding Mr. Contreras in custody. So we would like to proceed with the bond hearing as well if possible.
We will, but I want to do the pretrial before that. And we
Understood.
also need a waiver of arraignment from him on this case.
Okay, we did mail out a waiver of arraignment. Unfortunately, Your Honor, I've been sick with COVID, so I haven't been able to go see him personally, but we have mailed out a waiver to him to sign.
Have you received that, Mr. Contreras?
Wait, no, ma'am.
Let me see when we sent it. We sent it yesterday, Your Honor, so we should be getting it hopefully soon if he's still in custody then.
All right. And do you have a recommendation that includes this case?
I'm not sure, Your Honor, because I don't have access to the felony case files.
Oh, okay. Mr. Chevrier, is there a recommendation that includes this case?
I mean, I usually put on a case like this, resolve with a felony for my recommendations. And so I guess that would be the state's recommendation at this time, Judge.
Okay, he's got 186 days credit in jail on this case now. Let's move on to the bond reduction. Mr. Ballesteros, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. One moment, I'm pulling all of it up real quick. So, Your Honor, Mr. Contreras is 31 years old. He's born and raised here in El Paso, Texas. He is a U.S. citizen. And if released, he's going to be residing at 8601 Irwin. That's here in El Paso, 79915. He's been living there at that address for about a year now. He's self-employed as a HVAC technician, Your Honor. He's been doing that for 8 years. He currently has no money to post the bond for this particular charge. For the other cases that he was out on, that he was given the release order on, and the felony case, those were given completely free, just released to streets, Your Honor. I'm assuming that Mr. Rosales' office and Mr. Mendy, the district attorney for the 120th, I'm assuming that they had agreed to modify Mr. Contreras' deal or probation with some sort of conditions from there. I haven't had any contact with Mr. Rosales' office, so I'm not exactly sure of that, but I don't see any new settings for that particular case until the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. I'm sure that between now and then, there are additional 120th hearings for the other cases that might be pending. But, Your Honor, right now, considering that this is the only case holding Mr. Contreras in custody and he has no money to use towards the bond on that case, we are respectfully requesting a PR bond.
Mr. Chevrier, do you have anything?
there'd be no objection, Judge, as long as he is ordered to stay away from, looks like Food City off of 5400 Alameda. As long as he stays away from there, there would be no objection from the state.
All right. Mr. Contreras, you were out on a PR bond on this case, and that bond was revoked in June of this year because one, you failed to maintain contact with the CJC office, and two, you picked up another burglary of building. I do not make it a practice to keep letting people out on PR bond. This will be your absolute last opportunity. You need to comply with the terms and conditions, which are report to PR bonds, maintain current contact information with them, attend all hearings, and not commit any new offenses. You're also not to use any illegal substances. Any violation of those conditions will result in a warrant for your arrest. Understood?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right, then I'm going to grant him a $500 PR bond and get this case moving so that we can either plead it or set it for trial.
Understood.
Rayana, is this the first or second pretrial?
The first. The
Pardon?
first one, Judge.
The first? Okay, so let's schedule another pretrial here, maybe a month out, and get this case moving.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. If you
That's all
have
I have
nothing
today.
further, you may be excused.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
See you, Nick.
And which is the one that needed an interpreter?
Avina.
Avina. Okay. Let's see if I have another public defender. Good morning, Ms. Hernandez.
Good morning, Judge.
Mr. Bombara, are you on Mr. Avina?
Your Honor, sorry, it wasn't connecting.
Okay. May I have Armando Avina, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, downtown. Who is this?
Good
I
morning,
beg your
this is
pardon?
Frank Christian.
Okay, we'll be right with you.
Thank you.
Okay, court calls a case of the state of Texas versus Armando Avina. Oh, let's turn on the interpreter function. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Judge. That makes it so much easier.
Yes,
How are you, Judge?
I am good. How are you?
Good, Judge.
All right, here we go. Everybody pick your language.
Sit.
Okay. Court calls a case in the state of Texas versus Armando Avina, 2023-0C08108. We're here for a pretrial. What says the state
Adam Chevrier for the state, ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Gabriel Bombada for Mr. Avina, ready, Your Honor.
Okay, you are Armando Avina.
Sit.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Sit.
All right. So we're here for the second pretrial. We do need a waiver of arraignment on this case, Mr. Bombada. Do you have a recommendation, Mr. Chevrier?
Yes, Judge. The state's recommendation is 18 months straight with standard conditions. I did add a condition of AA twice per week. Perhaps that can be adjusted, but I did not want to do a jail rec. I just want to do a probation rec.
He can't get out, Adam. He can't pay his bond. We've locked him up for 47 days. could you consider giving him a jail rec?
It's
That way
just,
he can choose between the two.
well, I'd like him on probation is the problem, because I think he needs treatment or at a minimum, some type of intensive probation. At this time, I don't feel comfortable offering a jail rec.
Okay. Mr. Bombada, do you want this set for a plea or trial?
I mean, as of now, I guess a trial, like I mean, if we need to plead, well, Mr. Avina can make that decision. I would ask the state to reconsider giving the time rec, considering they've locked him up for 6 weeks already. And then also there's a pending felony that I don't know what's going to happen with it.
Correct.
That I'd like y'all to kind of make a decision on. That way he really sees his future. Right now he's in limbo. Right now he's forced to choose probation, and then I don't know what's going to happen with a felony. All the while the state opposes his PR bond, and he can't get out. So I don't know what he's supposed to do.
So I want to be clear on my position, sir. I do not oppose PR bond.
That has been other parts of your office that oppose his PR bond, and that's partly why he's still been in. But that's why Mr. Avina's in a very difficult spot, and asking him to choose 18 months probation after already getting 47 days when he doesn't know what's going to happen with his felony, that's untenable.
Okay. He is no longer booked on the felony. So
Yes.
I went ahead and set this for a bond reduction as well. So you may proceed on that.
Your Honor, he's already done 47 days. He was, the problem is Mr. Avina's not from here. And he was traveling through here, and he was working in Las Cruces at the time. However, he can stay in contact with me, and then he can make his decision uncoerced. Obviously, if you were to violate, he'd be back here, and then he could make his decision. But right now, he really hasn't had a chance to make his decision because he's just been locked up this whole time. So we would ask the court for a PR bond.
State's position?
Judge, I think it's okay. The state would be okay with PR bond as long as it's strict conditions. I am showing that he's been arrested for DUI out of state at least 2 or 3 times out of the state of Oklahoma, and once was earlier this year. And so this is, I believe, his 4th arrest. And in this case, he blew a .18. And so that would be the state's position. That's why the state is uncomfortable with the jail recommendation at this time. But assuming there are some strict conditions for PR, the state would be okay with that.
Okay. And looking at his rap sheet, I showed the 23 DUI arrest in Oklahoma was his 6th arrest. I don't know how many of those are convictions, so I am worried about letting him out on PR bond. Where is he from?
Oklahoma, Your Honor.
Is he still employed and working in Las Cruces?
At the time of the first hearing, yes. I'm not sure if he still has his job. If you want to put us in a breakout room, I can figure that out.
I'd like you to ask him.
Mr. Avina, do you still have your job?
Posiblemente no, pero quisiera la oportunidad de trabajar aquí en El Paso y aquí me quedaré en El Paso para arreglar el asunto.
All right. Then I'm going to again give him a split bond of 7,000 surety, 1,000 PR with the following conditions. Attend AA meetings at least twice a week. Report to CJC, have the interlock installed consume no illegal substance, including alcohol, Mr. Avina, commit no new offenses, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, report to CJC as required, and show up to all court hearings. Any violation of those conditions will cause a warrant for your arrest to be issued. We will also be setting this matter for trial as soon as possible, which will probably be December here. Anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing for the state.
All right, if there's nothing further, you may be excused.
Una pregunta.
May I have Luis Dominguez, please?
Mr. Avina, I'll
Yes,
be
ma'am.
by to talk to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor, we're good.
Oh, okay. He can talk to his lawyer.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't think we have any others, Ms. Hernandez, so you may be excused. Thank you. Likewise.
Good morning,
You
Judge.
too. Have a good one. Don't eat too much. May I have Luis Dominguez, please?
He's coming out, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are you also on Ms. Kristen, Mr. Bombara?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Frank, Mr. Ramirez, and Mr. Adams.
Okay, I'll be right with you. Good morning, Mr. Kennedy. Court calls the case of the state of Texas versus Luis Dominguez, 2023-0C0-1425. We're here for a pretrial. What says the state
Adam Chevrier for the state, ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Brian Kennedy for the defense. We're ready, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Dominguez has a few felonies, but they're not set for trial until next May. So I wanted to see what's going on with this case.
Actually, Your Honor, we're in the final steps on coming to an agreement on the felonies, which would then include the misdemeanor. We're just getting some final clarification because there is, as you could see, about 5 moving parts on this thing.
Mhm.
So we were clarifying some language, but that's what we're down to right now, Your Honor.
Okay,
I think we're close on this one, to be very honest, and we have, of course, included the misdemeanor in it.
do you
We are
think,
sending emails back and forth from Mr. Garcia in the
another month
171st.
would suffice?
I think that would be good, Your Honor. I think we can get
Okay.
this done within a month.
All right, then let's check back on a court status check in about a month.
And I will inform the court immediately if we come to an agreement, and I'll also let Mr. Chevrier know.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Do you have anything else?
I have one other one, Your Honor. But we filed for a bond hearing on Mr. Navarrete,
Oh, yes. May I
and
have Daniel Navarrete, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
when we filed for the bond hearing, it automatically picked up everything, both the felonies and the misdemeanors. The 2 misdemeanors are a grand total of $700 of the bond. And we have a bond hearing on Monday in the felony court, Your Honor.
Okay,
And so I mean, I just don't know that I want to waste the court's time on this issue when
Do you
it's
wanna waive the bond
$700
for
of the
now?
bond. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
do you want to waive the bond reduction for now?
I mean, we could do it very quickly if you want, Your Honor. We are talking about a $700 on the 2 misdemeanors. It
Yeah.
might be easier for us to wait until Monday and see if we can get the felony court to handle it all in one fell swoop and save your
Okay.
time, Judge.
We can do that.
Because we
And
are
if not-
scheduled already for a Monday hearing on the felonies.
Okay, if for some reason they don't want to do the misdemeanors, please let us know and we'll put you back on the docket.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will be as convincing as possible to get them to do
Good.
it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Navarrete.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right, Mr. Bombada, let's get going with court calls the case of State of Texas versus Kristen Frank, cause number 2023-0C00784. We're here for bond reduction. What says the state
Adam Chevrier for the state, ready to proceed.
and the defense?
Gabriel Bombada from Ms. Frank, ready, Your Honor.
You are Kristen Frank.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear affirm testimony may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. What do you have, Mr. Bombado?
Your Honor, so Ms. Frank, basically she went to docket call towards the end of October, and then very quickly she was picked up for non-compliance with the bond. Your Honor, basically for bond, I can tell you that she's been showing up to her courts. That this case was likely on the track to
She has not been
eventually-
showing up to court, and that's why she's had 2 PR bond revocations.
Well, I mean, she had been, I apologize. She showed up to her docket call that day, Your Honor. I can tell you that I thought that this case was on track to be dismissed. Given that the court might be annoyed with her prior non-compliance. I mean, we're here to ask for a PR bond, but I guess instead we will, if the court does not want to do a PR bond, we'd ask for a trial date. Because I do not think that the state has been able to contact the complaining witness on this case, and I think that's where they were going before. But I don't want to have to wait till February to get our day in court, like we had been set before with our agreed motion for continuance, Your Honor.
All right. What says the state?
Judge, the state would be unopposed to their request for PR bond. My understanding, Judge, is I think there are some mental health concerns going on in this case. I do not think this is a trial case, and I want to be upfront with the court. It was my intent to I was kind of eyeing this case as a possible dismissal after some time. I just wanted to A, reach out to the victim, and B, kind of give some time for the defendant to sort of be in a good place. And so I don't think the state is likely to go forward on this case at the end. And so for all these reasons, I think it would be appropriate to issue a PR bond, Judge.
Okay. Well, she's failed to show up twice for hearings, and she wasn't reporting to PR bonds. So the court does not feel it's appropriate to let her out on a PR bond again. But we will set this case for trial on the 5th of December.
Yes, Judge.
So the state can either try the case or dismiss it.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing.
Ah.
Nothing.
Do you have Victor Ramirez? Mr. Barbara?
Yes, Your Honor. May I approach on that one real quick?
Sure.
I sent my social worker to talk with Mr. Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like a little bit more time to try to deal with him before we try to put him into competency proceedings. But right now we have concerns.
All
And
right.
that's like a big thing to put somebody into misdemeanor competency proceedings because it ties them up for a very long period of time. So with the court's permission, if we could pass this and then I could reapproach once we have a better handle on his state.
Okay. Then let's reset. I believe this is the second time we're resetting his bond hearing. So I need you to take a leg and get something done.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
Mr. Ramirez, I'll be by to talk to you.
And who else do you have? Is that it?
Just Mr. Adams, Your Honor.
Okay. Yes. Mr. Gutierrez is on some of those as well. Let me let him in. May I have Julius Adams, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Gutierrez. You're
Hi,
muted.
Judge.
There you go. Good morning.
How are you?
So I was informed this morning that Mr. Gutierrez has been retained on all your cases, Mr. Bombara.
Perfect.
He just needs you to sign the motion to sub, and I'm assuming you're agreeing to that.
Yes, we would agree to that. Louis, you can send it over to me or to Rick Huffman, but if you send it over to me, I'll sign it too.
I think we sent it to who we normally send it to when we sub out the PD. I'm not sure who that is, but I can.
I'll check.
Yeah,
I'm
we
covering
sent
for
it already.
Mr. Huffman today, so yeah, we have no problem with that, Your Honor.
Okay. I would send it to Mr. Bombara, Mr. Gutierrez,
You know,
to make sure those get signed.
Bombara at EP County.
G. Bombara at EP County.
All right, beautiful. I'll forward it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you then. Court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Julian Adams, 2023 0C0 4925, 2023 0C0 4414, 2023 0C0 6015, and 2023 0C0 9209. There are also some other unfiled cases, but I'm going to let you address those through the JMAG until they're filed. What says the state
Adam Chevrier for the state, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
and the defense?
Judge Louis Gutierrez ready to proceed on a pretrial, Your Honor.
Correct. We're here for a pretrial. He has been booked 48 days, but I know there are other unfiled cases, so I wanted to see if you had a recommendation, Mr. Chevrier.
I let me see if I have one. I don't think I do have one, Judge, but there is let's see, at least
There's
one.
a felon that just got indicted.
A
Yes.
felon?
Yes, I'm seeing 2 felonies that got indicted, one for VPO 2 times within 12 months, and then one for stalking. Looks like different incidents, but I believe it's the same victim. So I don't have a recommendation, Judge, other than the typical resolve with the felony.
Judge, if I may.
Yes, sir.
And I did speak with Adam before we came on. We spoke this morning, Judge, and I was caught off guard with the felonies, but I guess it makes sense with 5 unfiled protective orders. At some point, the stakes get a little worse or higher. And I filed writs also this morning. And so I'm hoping that these cases get filed within the next couple of weeks. I'm also hoping that maybe I can, what I was planning to do was ask you for a plea date, Your Honor, and maybe we can hold it there, and maybe I can do some backdoor maneuvering and try to see what I can fix with the state if we, plead to certain things down with you, and maybe they'll let those go. I don't know. I just need a little time to reach out to the victim as well. So those are my assignments, but I don't know if you would entertain a plea date, Judge, and just kind of, I know we don't have plea papers and it's kind of out there, but at the same time, in light of the fact that he's been, on hold for a while, I could address all the protective orders with the JMAG, but I'm trying to provide some kind of global type deal, Judge.
Okay. Why don't we do this? I don't want to set it for a plea yet because there's so many things up in the air.
Right.
But I would like to take up those writs here in the next couple of weeks and see if that'll get the state to file all those unfiled cases. The felony, at least the one I saw, landed in the 210.
Oh, that's okay. That's news to me. I'll definitely look into that as well, Judge.
That was just indicted this week, I believe. I didn't see the felony VPO, but wouldn't surprise me. So
Okay.
let's go ahead. I understand that all these cases involve the same CW.
Right.
So once we review your writs, we'll go ahead and set those for a hearing. And then the state will have to do something on those.
Is it the local rules, I guess, Your Honor? Because you have the cases already in your court that they will send the writs your way? Is that what I understand?
No, actually, they may fall in a different court. But once
Okay.
the cases get filed, then they'll all fall in
Yeah.
this court.
Absolutely. Okay.
So,
Well, I hope maybe, could we get a setting sometime before Christmas, Judge, and try to see what I could do?
oh, absolutely, yeah. We'll get you something before Christmas. We'll just have to see where the writs land
Okay,
and try to move those along.
right. Okay, and then I'll make my entry on the 210th case as well and try to figure out how to maneuver.
Okay, my guess is that's where you should be negotiating.
Yeah.
To try
Yes.
to get everything resolved. So
I will.
we'll check on those writs, Rihanna, and then go from there. Thank you. If there's nothing further, you may be excused.
Okay.
And Your
Thank
Honor,
you,
I
Judge.
didn't ask, but may I be excused as well?
Yes, Mr. Bombara,
you.
sorry to keep you on there. I didn't mean for you
Oh.
to stay on there.
Oh, no problem. See you at 1:30. Thank you, Judge.
All right,
Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye.
thank you. Good morning, Mr. Salivar. May I have Arturo Saldana?
Yes, Your Honor, he's coming out.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I don't know if the message got back to you, but I did have an issue with the deferred on this case.
Okay.
Court calls the case of the state of Texas versus Arturo Saldana, 2023-0C0 5923. We're here for defendant's plea of guilty. What says the state?
Adam Chevrier for the state, ready to proceed.
And the defense.
Felix Salivar on behalf of Arturo Saldana Jr., ready, Your Honor.
You are Arturo Saldana?
Yes. Yes,
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Pardon?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Are you a U.S. citizen, Mr. Saldana?
Yes.
Charged with the offense of assault, family violence, alleged to have occurred July 24th, 2023 in El Paso County, Texas. To those charges, sir, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
No, not guilty.
Okay.
Mr. Saldana, you're supposed to plead guilty. We
Guilty. Sorry. Guilty, Judge.
Mr. Saldana, are you sure you wish to plead guilty on this case?
Yes, Judge. Yes.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, Judge.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? You're not being coerced into pleading guilty?
Yes, Judge. I'm pleading guilty.
All right. Any priors?
Judge, I do see a DWI conviction from 2022. I guess the incident took place in 2020. I do see a family violence that was dismissed in 2022, and then there's a continuous family violence case out of the 243rd that's part of this, and that's part of where this plea is coming from, Judge, is the ADA, the 243rd was kind of driving the bus on this plea. And so that's where we got the plea, or that's kind of where the plea paperwork originated from.
Okay. The court's not going to follow the state's recommendation. We can go forward on a straight probation if you'd like.
Your Honor, that's fine. I knew that probably would be an issue, but yeah, that's fine.
All right. That
we're
being the
gonna
case,
follow
the court will find you guilty, Mr. Saldana, sentence you to a year in jail, probated for 2 years. You're to pay a $4,000 fine, $3,500 of that is probated, $30 a month probation fee, complete 40 hours of community service, be subject to breath and urine analysis, a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew where you can't be out unless you're working or going to school. You're to pay $100 to the Family Violence Prevention Fund. The court will make a family violence finding. You're to reimburse El Paso County for court costs. Have no contact whatsoever with the complaining witness, Darlene Farga. And this case will run concurrent with your felony cause number 2023-0D05654. Anything further, counsel?
No,
Nothing.
Your Honor.
Okay. Then you may be excused. This concludes our docket for this morning. So
Thank you.
thank you.